Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 302. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host here, Mike. How are we doing today, Mike?
Good. What's going on, man?
It's still really weird saying 300.
Yeah, I know. 302. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this for another 100 episodes, but and we're doing this one with another interview today. I'll probably won't be around for that, but Anthony Stokes will be here on the show.
Yes.
Easy to insert a joke about being stoked about Stokes, so I'm just gonna do it now.
As you should be.
Yeah, looking forward to that towards the middle of the show. We do got some trailers to talk about, and some more stuff at DC, some more speculation coming up.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff happening over DC, which it'll be fun to talk about. Unfortunately, not DC Studios, everybody, but
yeah. We'll see how that goes. I did send a tweet about this today. You saw my new dice came in, my cassette tape. Yeah, so everybody, you don't have video, but whenever I stop buying one physical possession, I need to move on to something else. So now I've gotten into dice to fill that void. First it was comics, then I didn't have room for those. Then it was Magic cards, and then I stopped playing Magic and was spending too much money on cards. Now it's dice because back into D&D. So
it's the way it goes, man. I mean, listen,
it's just the way she goes.
People stop smoking cigarettes, they move over to chewing gum. Like,
yeah, I guess you have a point. I didn't think about that. Wow, you're a fucking sage over here.
This beard comes with wisdom.
Yeah, I guess so. I shaved mine and I lost it all. Yeah, 1985 games. Because I'll be at PAX this year, and I saw there on the list. I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. And they have these cassette tape boxes, mini cassette, like, and the theme of each dice set is like 1985, like 80s retro style colors. And they also, their main like product they do is like D&D tiles for like adventures.
Mm-hmm.
So like they create these large tiles that I think you could write on with like dry erase marker to do like, and they actually have like encounters and stuff, like books that they make with them. It's pretty cool. So 1985 games, pretty sick.
Yeah, I don't know if it's them or not, but I bought, it might have been at PAX too, because it was a long time ago, but I bought like big, it's basically giant graph paper, but like rolls of it.
Oh, nice.
That I never used, but but I have it if I ever start a physical.
Well, I mean, when we were playing AD&D, it was graph paper.
Yeah.
8.5 by 11 pieces of graph paper we were drawing the maps on. And I mean, 5th edition's a lot different, but like that's all AD&D was like empty caverns, and you got to draw it.
Yeah, and it's difficult.
Oh yeah. So like even get the sense of direction is like the worst part. Oh my god, I remember those days.
So I'm playing an AD&D campaign, and luckily I'm not the one that has to map out. Thank God, my buddy Jeff has to do it. But what always screws him up is when we start going up floors and levels.
Oh yeah,
that's when he's just like, the entire graph paper goes to shit.
Yeah, then you gotta like add out another page and make sure you have the stairs connecting in the right spot.
Yep.
Yeah, you're pretty much like drawing those Resident Evil maps where like you have several different layers. So you're always trying to find out like which stairwell leads to which part of the map is like the worst part. Yeah, that's the worst part.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, we will be talking about that D&D trailer a little bit later. Some TV stuff. Before we talk about The Last of Us episode 2, already renewed for a second season as of like Friday. That being said, the second episode was awesome.
Yeah. So you caught up then?
Yeah, I'm caught up. Yeah, I watched 1 and 2. I would have to say the clickers are awesome. How they do all that makeup and stuff like that. And yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of the season. I completely forgot everything that happened in the game, so seeing more of the show is just exciting to me. And the part with the kiss, the fungi kiss, was pretty awful. to watch that. Yeah, that was a little uncomfortable. I was like, really? Did we need that? Yeah, but that was like a good addition, to like creep me out.
Yeah, definitely some changes from the games though that I'm noticing. Like, I didn't even realize it until I rewatched episode 1, but like the virus isn't airborne in this, where it is in the game.
Yeah, right. Like you have to. Well, there might be spores, right? Too.
Well, if you're going by game rules, if you remember in episode 1 when they find that one that's like against the wall,
Yeah.
that would have her getting that close to it would have been enough to infect her right there.
Oh, okay.
By the game rules.
Yeah. Okay.
And they said something in the beginning of the episode 2 that like it's not airborne. You have to be bitten. So it's kind of typical zombie rules. But
yeah,
for the show, I mean, it makes more sense to do it that way. I mean, people are having an easier time connecting to it, and then we don't have to put poor Pedro Pascal in a gas mask for half the season.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know after being in a mask for Mandalorian.
Yeah. So, but that said, I loved everything about the episode. Like, what's great about it is remembering back to the game. And I mean, we said before that I wasn't a big fan of the game, but it gets shots correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I want to bring up, I've never actually beaten the game. I usually like give up on it partway through.
Mm-hmm.
But to this point, I've seen the game. It's getting shots correct, and it's giving some new stuff to go along with like these really great shots that are like 1-for-1 with the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to notice, and I didn't notice it in real time, but the lighter she uses is actually replicated after the lighter in Uncharted 4.
Oh, really?
And Neil Druckmann actually directed this episode, so the co-creator of Last of Us.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like really cool things throughout it, and just even without any of that, like I think it's just a phenomenal show from top to bottom.
I think it's yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've been trying to get people to watch it that aren't gamers, and as you said at the beginning, it got renewed, and part of the reason it got renewed is because it jumped up 22% episode to episode, which does not happen.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
They said it was like the largest jump in like television history, or maybe it's HBO history, but
I mean, having Pedro Pascal
and it being good, like
and it being good helps. Yeah. I think the first episode had to come out before people would try it. And yeah, I've been telling everybody to go watch it.
Well, it's got the stink of video game adaptation all over it, and
right.
I mean, we've been in a little bit of a renaissance the past 5 years or so, but it's not like this seems as much as like Sonic and Uncharted were good.
Yeah.
Like this is 2 episodes in is reaching great and like, top tier status. So
yeah, stick to the source material. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. It's amazing what happens when people take the source material serious.
Yeah. You take a 98% Metacritic game and you make a 90% Metacritic show. It writes itself. It's already written, actually. After 4 seasons, WB has announced that they're canceling both Titans and Doom Patrol, which sucks because I haven't watched season 4 of Doom Patrol yet. And now I'm like, this motivates me to not want to watch it. But I guess 4 seasons is more than I thought it would get. So, and Titans is just bad. I keep trying to rewatch that show, dude. It was really like the characters make no sense, like their motivation, and the acting is just like atrocious.
I always thought, I watched the first episode and I liked it, but it wasn't like I had to go watch the second episode. I thought the big thing with that is A, I'm not a Titans fan, so let's throw that out there right here.
Yeah.
But B, like, isn't one of the things about the Titans that they're like a little bit more of a bright and like cheery superhero group, not as much like dark and gritty and throwing F-bombs around?
Yeah, that's another thing to it.
Yeah, so, but I mean, and then Doom Patrol I'll eventually get back into. I've been sidetracked on other things, but this isn't a shock to me.
No.
I mean, Doom Patrol, maybe I could have seen that continuing on. Maybe being like, oh, let's get rid of Cyborg and maybe do another season.
Right.
But Titans, like, I got to assume they're a part of James Gunn's plans moving forward. They have to be.
Yeah, and I mean, why would you want to let go of Brendan Fraser like that? but hopefully they have him considered for something else in DC. I mean, he was supposed to be Firefly in the Batgirl movie, so hopefully they didn't like say they don't want to work with him moving forward. So I would love to see him come back as something.
I could be wrong. I believe The Whale is also distributed by WB or has
Is
something to do
it
with WB. I don't
okay?
quote me on that.
Interesting.
Someone's screaming at their phone that I'm an idiot, but I thought that was the case.
Well, I
So
know it was like an indie flick, but yeah, they probably have some way of owning that.
yeah, but then it's an indie flick that gets bought by a big company and
Yeah.
they distribute it.
Yep.
Miramax is owned by Disney. I mean,
Yeah. Come on, they own everything. But yeah, Doom Patrol is still good though. Mandalorian season 3 trailer is going to be premiering. Oh, is yeah the premiering on Disney Plus March 1st. But did you watch the trailer?
I did. It looks
Yeah.
like more of Mandalorian.
Yeah, I was going to say more Mandalorian, more Baby Yoda. It looks like I think the big takeaway is it looks like we get a flashback to the youngling scene in Clone Wars.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we see some like sabers getting lit up.
I think I think it's going to be High Republic.
You think so?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to see like how Grogu escapes the youngling massacre.
That could be it too.
Yeah.
I can
I
see
mean, it
that
could be
too.
both those things. I don't know.
I looked at it and I'm like, I don't know. There's something in me that's Star Wars as a whole, as a whatever you want to call it, an entity, has been pushing High Republic, and rightfully so. It's been really good.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point they got to introduce it, and whether it's live action, cartoon, something.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe that was going to be a flashback to High Republic. I think it's going to be a flashback to something involving Mandalore.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily Grogu escaping or whatever. But a lot of people are thinking the way you are. So
Yeah. Yep.
But there's the trailer does go in a lot into like we're going back to Mandalore, we're rebuilding the Mandalorian Empire or whatever, and all this stuff. So my feeling is we're going to get a lot more of what I mean. Even though in season 2, I think it was, we got a lot of like how Mandalore was destroyed by the asteroids or whatever.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I watched it. Sorry. I think we're gonna get more of like what led up to that moment. Like why Mandalore was destroyed, why Mandalore was what it was. And that's why I kind of feel like the Jedi are going to be involved somehow.
Okay.
And that's why that moment is there.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense too. I'd like to see that. Either way, I'm super pumped for it. I don't really need to see, I didn't need to see another trailer. I was in either way.
Yeah, they could have released nothing and I was there on March 1st.
Yeah, right.
They could have just said Mandalorian March 1st and I was going to watch.
Yeah. Movie news, Dungeons & Dragons released second trailer. Still looks like a lot of fun. There's some more like fun scenes with Chris Pines? Yeah, that's the one. Chris Pine. He looks really old in this movie. I feel like he aged like 10 years since I saw him in Wonder Woman.
You know what it is?
What?
They grade his temples. So like along the side, like he has the Reed Richards thing going.
Okay.
I mean, he's not exactly young either. I think he's in his 40s. Yeah. But like he's not really that old.
I wonder. Okay, so this is really interesting. They like what why do that to him? If at the end of the movie they cut to a table where they're all pretending to be D&D, like they're playing D&D at a table, and he like wants to be like he looks a lot younger in real life and like wants to be an older character or something. I don't know.
Or if it's like just a little kid who's playing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I'm looking up right now.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize it was that because he looks like, I watched the trailer again. I'm like, why does he look so much older?
Because I don't feel like he's that old, but he was in Star Trek in 2009, so.
Oh my God. Okay, well, that was over 10 years ago.
He was born in 1980, so he's 8 years older than me. So yeah, he's in his 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, I was right, yeah.
He just always will be the age he was in Star Trek to me, the first one.
Yeah, and honestly, outside of this one thing, he does look that the same. Like he's almost like got the Chris Rudd or not Chris Rudd. Fucking everyone's Chris.
That's you.
Paul Rudd.
Chris.
He's got the Paul Rudd thing.
Yeah. Yeah, where Paul Rudd does not look his age.
Yeah. What I found from this trailer, so everything looks great. We got to see everything you wanted to, the gelatinous cube, owl bears, dragons, everything.
Yeah.
What I want to point out, and I thought I had to look this up too, because I thought it was Michelle Rodriguez. It reiterated that Michelle Rodriguez is a fucking badass.
Okay.
Like her action scenes in this, like when they're tied up and she fights the two guys while he's like cracking jokes, like she's so awesome.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Yeah. I'm really stoked for this movie.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. Did they give a release date? Is it February?
I think it's March.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think everything's March.
Shazam! Fear of the Gods new trailer. So I did not watch this. I like typically will read the comments on like Reddit when these come out just to see like what people are saying, and generally people will be like, this I didn't need to watch this trailer. Like it doesn't show anything new, and that's kind of what I heard about this one.
I mean, you didn't need to watch it, but I would disagree if it doesn't show anything new.
Okay.
It shows a lot more. I mean, it's one of those trailers where I feel like I watched the movie.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was too. It showed too much or something.
Yeah. But it looks more action packed. It looks like this trailer shows more of the action, less of the jokiness. So hopefully they're not leaning into action over jokiness, because that's what made the first one great.
Right.
But there's a few good like jokes in there, like they're fighting the dragon and he like punches the dragon with Lucy Liu on top of it and like calls her Khaleesi.
Oh, okay.
And it just looks more epic than the first movie. Like, obviously these two gods are coming down, taking over the whole city and like destroying things. So
right.
I'm really excited for this. This is the one movie franchise that I kind of hope just like keeps going.
Yeah, and they just don't interrupt it.
Yeah, like let it be its own. Like Shazam doesn't need to tie into the DC universe.
Yeah,
it could be its own thing, and I just love this cast and everything so much. So I'm looking forward.
to this one. And they could still do those fun references to the regular DC world.
They could keep it in the Snyderverse and just be like, and then that'll be the joke that they're like referencing Batfleck as opposed to whoever, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no, that's a great idea. All right, everybody, we're gonna jump to this interview with Anthony Stokes, and we'll see you on the other side.
And we're back.
We're back, and we're here to talk comic news.
Yes, everybody go check out Anthony's stuff. Go check out Intrusive Thoughts on Kickstarter. Looks awesome.
Yeah, go check it out. Give it your backing and do your part. Comic news. So we've been talking about this quite a bit and what's going to happen because we keep seeing the ads in the comics. The dawn of the DC universe is coming, and they have already revamped their timeline with new titles coming and changes to creative teams without publishing a single issue. And the whole advertisement is like DC Universe Lazarus Planet, Dawn of the DC, forging the future one hero at a time. This feels a little forced to me, like they wanted Lazarus Planet to do this for them.
Yeah, and some people are I put that dig in there, everybody, but everybody's saying that like Lazarus Planet was the beginning of this. I'm like, that's bullshit. Superman number 1's the beginning of this. We all know that Superman number 1 is the beginning of this.
Yeah. Right. And so we got some titles released. It's just New 52 all over again. First being the big change to Green Lantern Hal Jordan. The title was originally announced as being written by Mariko Tamaki with no artist announced. Now it's pushed to May, released with writer Jeremy Adams and artist Zoranico. Creative team minus Jeff Johns behind Flashpoint Beyond. So Zoranico's art is really good. Jeremy Adams, he's got the chops to do this. I don't know if that means anything, like if it's going to tie into anything bigger, but probably they just like earn the spot to be on a Green Lantern book after that.
I mean, something happened.
Yeah.
They're not going to tell us, but something happened behind the scenes. I mean, what was it? Mariko
Tamaki.
Yeah. Mariko Tamaki's been doing like Detective Comics and a few other little things.
Yeah.
I say little, like she's doing Detective Comics. It's pretty huge actually, but she's
Yeah.
been doing a lot of a few things around DC. I don't know. There's a story there, and I want to know it, and I don't think I ever will.
Yeah.
That said, Jeremy Adams and Zoronico on Green Lantern. I don't know. It still doesn't get me all that excited for Hal Jordan. I'm way more
No.
excited for the John Stewart book.
Yeah.
Like way more.
John Stewart for sure. Yeah, we talked about that. We think John Stewart's just cooler than Hal Jordan.
Yeah, and the superstar known as Phil Kennedy Johnson's writing it. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm in.
Where can you go wrong? With Titans stepping up as the main team in the DC universe means a new ongoing series from writer Tom Taylor, artist Nicholas Scott launching in May. They previously worked on the New 52 Earth 2 series, and yeah, I probably will start reading Titans.
Okay. I'm not going to read Titans. I'm not going to do it, but
I'm probably going to check. I'll check out like the first few issues.
But let me say this: if no one out there's read the New 52 Earth 2 book, it's not the Earth 2 that Mike wants, that he's currently getting, but it is so fucking good.
It is really good.
And Tom Taylor's obviously been working really hard on Nightwing. So his Nightwing thing is leading into this somehow. I'm glad that Titans fans are getting what looks like an awesome creative team to do a great book.
Yeah.
It won't get me to come in though. It won't do.
I did like that first volume of Nightwing. One Titan will be getting a new ongoing series. That Titan is no other than Cyborg. Cyborg will be written by Morgan Hampton, participate in the Milestone Initiative Talent Development Program, and artist Tom Rainey. That's pretty cool. I don't think we've gotten a Cyborg ongoing book in a long time.
I think since New 52.
Since New 52, yeah. Hopefully it lasts more than a few issues this time.
I think the one in New 52 lasts a while.
I might have read that too. Holy shit, that was actually a good book. Now that I think it was a couple volumes at least.
Yeah, because
I can remember the suit design and everything for him.
Yeah, I'm forgetting. Someone big wrote it too, but
yeah,
I like the new suit design and everything. I'm just not a big Cyborg fan. I'm really happy that we didn't talk much about this Milestone Initiative Talent Development Program, but like it's actually like doing stuff. Like people are getting jobs out of it, and like
right.
And obviously, anyone doesn't know it was a program based around like Milestone Comics, Static Shock, and all that to bring in mostly Black creators.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool that one of them is getting a shot at like a pretty big tentpole book.
Yeah, and that New 52 Cyborg was David Walker and Ivan Reyes on the art.
Ivan Reyes, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that's
Ivan Reyes.
Probably why I almost bought it.
Yeah, the art was absolutely like whether or not you like the story, the art was fucking insane.
Yeah, Ivan Reyes is a fucking magician.
And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong here, but the New 52 run might have been where they tied the whole like Cyborg as part of a Mother Box thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was part of a New Gods thing rather than just a robot.
Yeah, because that was the first time that they tried to make him part of the Justice League.
Yeah.
And he was a part of like the birth of the Justice League and all that. I don't know if that's still, I don't think that's continuity still, but.
No, because he was a big part of the New 52 Justice League.
Yeah.
With the boom tube shit. Yeah, because he was, something about, I think it was something with Apocalypse.
Yeah, because basically Apocalypse comes to Earth
looking
for that boom tube, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, damn, that first run in New 52 Justice League was so good.
Yeah.
First few volumes. Damn.
Yeah, it fell off the rails pretty quick, though.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. We don't talk about that. Now, for thanks to the fine internet detective looking at the timeline, we know that there are more possible additions coming in the summer. I wonder who that detective is. It looks like Wonder Woman could get a revamp or possible new creative team, and that Hawkgirl and the Hawkman could get their own title. Also found are possible events called Night Terror, which can assume is a Batman-related book, and the return of the Justice League. Well, yeah, I mean, we knew the Justice League would have to come back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're the Hawkman aficionado. Are you excited about a Hawkman book, or are
I'm
you
never
done?
excited for. No, I don't.
I remember the past you used to get excited for Hawkman books.
Yeah, and then it was like every book that came out went like 4 issues, and then it was it. I think Hawkman needs to stay in like the JSA, or at least Hawkgirl was a big part of the Earth 2 series, but um, maybe I'll check it out. It depends on who the creative team is. If it gets a good creative team, I'll probably check it out. But it's like they usually save that book for somebody who doesn't care, you know?
or someone who really wants to try. Like when Venditti did it, I remember he really wanted to like make everything mesh.
Yeah.
And I feel like somebody needs to come down with a hammer at the top of DC and be like, "This is the origin.
Yeah.
We're
This
not
is what we're
talking about the
doing.
other origins anymore. This is
Yeah.
the origin."
Yep.
That
Yeah.
aside, I would assume Wonder Woman's just getting a new creative team. I mean,
yeah. I would love. Sorry, we're gonna go back to Hawkman for a second.
yeah.
I would love a Hawkman book that was treated like barbaric. Like, give me a Hawkman book where he's just like, it could even take place in like ancient Egypt, but he's just like slaughtering enemies, like just tombs full of like bloody people and a bloody mace, and he's just like I don't know, fighting for King Tut or some shit like that. Like, just give me like the metalist Hawkman book you can do, and then we'll talk.
You know how you do it? This is how you do it. Okay.
Okay.
This is because this is a you basically do Hawkman
Yeah.
quantum leap style.
Oh shit, where he's going across timelines.
Yeah, so like every couple of volumes, you just move to a different timeline.
Yeah, but he's still fucking like
But
laying waste to people.
yeah, but let me be clear: the good quantum leap, not this new one.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't talk about the new one.
But yeah, so he has to go back to like fix his past.
Yeah, back to
And
the
then he like,
past.
yeah, and then of course you start it in ancient Egypt because, of
Right.
course, and he's like jump to other timelines. Like then you can do Viking, Hawkman,
Yeah.
and you can do dude,
And you get like
DC,
this,
call me.
and then you get this whole merry men of like of fighters that have fought with you throughout the like years.
Yeah,
One's like a Hercules, one's like a knight in shining armor, one's like a I don't know.
oh dude, then you end it like the last volume when it all comes together. All the
Yeah.
Hawkmen have to come together in the current timeline to like defeat, I don't know, Ultra Mega Hawkman. I don't know. I'll figure that out when I get to
Figure
it.
that out. Yeah, we don't need to write volume 6 yet. But dude, I like just give me that. Don't give me the Hawkman that's just like I'm mad all the time, but I'm never gonna show it. You know what I mean? Like he's just mad all the time, and he's not like he's got a fucking mace for weapon. Like it's gonna get bloody. Like there's no way you hit someone with a mace, and it's like there's no blood, or you like broke their spine. Like
It's
come on.
I've made this comparison a million times, but it's the X-Men animated series problem where it's like you
Yeah,
got Wolverine. Wolverine's the coolest. What does
yeah.
he do? He puts out his claws and then immediately retracts them back in and punches a guy
I
because you
just
can't
punches
have blood
people.
on a cartoon.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or like you make him fight robots with his claws.
Yeah, and then they just fight Sentinels all the time
Yeah,
because
then they
that's
just
how
fight
you get Wolverine
Sentinels.
involved.
Yeah, and it's like wires and explosions, which should be blood and guts, but it never happened. All right. Um, yeah. So, but no, Wonder Woman getting a revamp. Yeah, I think this. I haven't been reading the Wonder Woman. I do want to go back and read the Stephanie Phillips stuff, but I believe there was something weird where Wonder Woman was like changing. It wasn't her or something.
So the Stephanie Phillips book was like
Diana.
a side book.
Yeah.
And Stephanie, I love you. I really do. You don't have to read it.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay. If you're just not into Wonder Woman, that's probably not for you.
It's one of the few Stephanie books where I kind of like finished it and was like, eh.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I assume they're just gonna announce a new creative team. Because they're doing like issue 800 here soon. And I'm not gonna be shocked if DC goes, because DC has kept a lot of their legacy numbering. With the exception of a few, like Batman, for instance. I wouldn't be shocked if we wake up one day and they're like, Batman's going legacy, we're going back.
Yep.
Because they like the big numbers, and I like the big numbers too, so I agree with that.
Yeah. That'd be cool. That would be cool.
As far as the events, I mean, who knows what the fuck Night Terror is?
Yeah, and I will say, maybe it has something to do with Greg Capullo. It sounds like it would
Well,
be
I
some.
mean, it seems like Greg's going over to Marvel. I think he's done with DC for now, at
Yeah,
least. I think Night Terror is going to connect somehow. I mean, it's always going to connect to what Chip's doing. It's probably a Chip event,
yeah,
is my guess. But it's I don't know. It's tough to figure it out. There's not a whole lot there to talk about. What I am really shocked by, though, Return of the Justice League already.
yeah. I know.
Like, if you remember a week or two ago, I was saying it was going to be 2 years from now. Like,
Yeah,
give us
no,
time to
it's
miss it. But
they're
no,
giving you like 5 months.
which I'm fine with because I like the Justice League and I would like to have a Justice League book that I enjoy. But
Yeah,
it just
right.
seems weird from a publishing standpoint to be like, Justice League's gone.
I mean,
All right, they're coming back now.
yeah, and I don't mind that they're restarting everything because I need to get back into Detective Comics. I haven't read that in a long time, and I want to have that as a pull book. Um, because I think Detective Comics is becoming the Batman I want over what the latest Batman. I mean, Chip Zdarsky did a really good job with the latest Batman, so I will still be reading that. But this whole like Ghostmaker thing just not for me.
Oh yeah, you're more on Batman Incorporated. Feels
Yeah,
like because
yeah,
I mean
Batman Incorporated. Yeah,
I'm personally loving Chip's run so far, and
yeah,
I've heard nothing
and
about Detective Comics,
no,
so I
his
don't
his
know.
run's great, but like before Chip's run, they focused on Ghostmaker a lot, and now we're getting all of that into this Batman Incorporated and stuff. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that felt like
we'll
giving
see.
Joshua Williamson a bone since he's
Yeah,
kind of running the show. It seems like
right, right.
creatively, that is.
Um, okay. Well, speaking of that, let's talk about what we read.
All right.
Uh, I feel like I got to most of the big ones that I had this week. I read about 5 books. We'll talk about JSA 2. I think this issue was awesome. Jeff Johns, Michael, or not Michael Janin on the art. Is it Michael Janin? Just Janin on the art. I have. Okay, so I wrote the first notes I have. Damn, a young JSA, awesome. Because I think Huntress, we find out gets transported back in time to 1940 from the last issue, and we get to see the young JSA like from Justice League. I don't know, 22 JSA, like fresh, you know, peach fuzz. None of that old JSA that we were getting. So she like attempts to talk to Dr. Fate to see like to prove to him that she's from the future. And then it like he keeps getting thrown out of the timeline, and then we get some other like side stories that I'm really interested in. We get a glimpse of that's called the Justice Society Dark,
Mm-hmm.
which is from the Dark Crisis, I think. It appeared in like one of the Dark Crisis issues for like a second, but yeah, we're getting like the Justice League Dark. We have a Justice Society Dark, which I want to see more of that. And then he gets like thrown out again, trying to peer into the future and see her. Um, and Huntress gets transported to the present, to the new Justice League Dark. Well, yeah, they aren't I don't know if they're the Justice Society Dark, because a lot of those characters that she like falls in front of in the issue were part of the Justice League Dark and like the current series.
Yeah, I took it as she was being thrown back into current time.
Yeah, she's in current time, and she's with like Deadman and shit like that, who are part of the Justice League Dark. So,
Which is my only criticism,
yeah,
is we spent half an issue with the
yeah,
Justice Society.
and now we're with the Justice League Dark. Yeah,
Yeah, I was hoping we would stick around a little bit longer, but we'll see where it leads.
I think it's interesting if they bring the JSA back and they interact with the Justice League Dark, because I think this villain is dark magic somehow. With the whole Doctor Fate thing and him like having these ridiculous powers. And then we see that Catwoman dies fighting the mystery guy in the issue after she gets Huntress out of there. So,
Yeah.
still a
Good
good
issue
issue, I
though.
think.
I like the
Yeah,
Huntress stuff a lot.
yeah. Uh, Saga 61. Um, this was pretty. So we finally got the answer of like, okay, is Marco coming back or what? Uh, we still see Hazel and her family are still in hiding. Marco's old friend, or I don't know if that was like his ex-wife or something, is going around after the will trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Is that his old wife or something,
I
or
didn't
girlfriend?
read it.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
No.
And then at the end of the issue, basically, like they're in some like back magic store, and the lady says she needs a special ingredient. She's like, but magic exists in our world. We can bring your husband back, and that's how they end the issue. And I'm like, well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, there is magic, so why not? So that was a pretty interesting issue. So hopefully we do get him back. That would be cool.
Yeah, I obviously I just said I didn't read it. Thinking
Yeah.
back on the last volume, I think that's the missing ingredient.
Right.
Like I think the fact that I didn't have Marco to kind of for me to
Right.
have there was what was not meshing correctly for me.
Yeah.
So it'd be good to get him back.
So maybe that's why they took this long break, and they're like, okay, we need to figure out a way. Maybe they had always planned to bring him back, and now they're bringing him back sooner than they thought, or something. Because I think they might have heard that these issues weren't that great.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I lean towards this was always the plan because
Yeah.
from my circles that I see, we're the only two that were kind of like on
Yeah.
that volume. So
I guess we were reading it as it was coming out back in the day. So like, I don't know. It just didn't have the magic it did back then. Maybe.
yeah, there's a lot of criticism to go towards the series for how it's been handled the past couple volumes in
Mm-hmm.
terms of delays and all that stuff. But I do feel like there was a missing ingredient to the book, and that was Marco.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sergeant Rock in the Army of Dead, #5. Bruce Campbell, Riso in the art. Uh, it was an awesome issue. They get into a Nazi bunker, kill more zombies, and then they get into a fight with zombie Hitler.
nice.
It was awesome. And then Sergeant Rock ends up calling an airstrike on himself while he's like fighting Hitler in the bunker and gets his troops out of there. Yeah, the next issue's the last one. It was pretty awesome. It was Hitler and his like wife, and they were both zombified.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Bruce Campbell is fucking insane. Junkyard Joe #4, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. Things start to move along, but nothing really seems to. I mean, all the kids find out about Junkyard Joe being in the house, like the next door neighbor. All of the kids find out, and so like now they're at risk. And then by the end of the issue, the bad guys show up and ask like, "Where is he?" Um, so I think by volume 2 we might see some action. It's taken like 3 issues to do what you could do in like 1 issue, pretty much. That's what it feels like.
I mean, I didn't read this one either, but
Yeah,
I'll just throw out my 2 cents. My problem was like I love that first issue, and I
yeah,
love that cliffhanger.
yeah,
And then it's like, and 50 years later, or however, like
yeah,
80 years later, I'm like,
yeah.
damn. Like there was
I
so many
know.
cool like Cold War Vietnam crap you could have done.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we'll
because that
see.
shit like came out of Geiger, right? Was Junkyard Joe?
Yeah. Well, it came out of
Yeah,
Geiger because Geiger would have the
the
comic
Junkyard
strips.
Joe. Yeah, right.
But I was kind of hoping we would see a little bit more with like, I mean, Cold War era, Nixon as president, like that's a fun era creatively to be in for like
Yeah,
fiction. So I was hoping to stick there, but
yeah. We'll see. Hitomi #4, HS Tak and Isabel Mazzanti on the art. Yeah, this is a cool issue. The young girl who wants to be a samurai stays back to train with the army, and um, the main guy Yasuke uh, leaves to go like be in Japan and head back home finally and not be a samurai anymore. But he hears that the girl is starting to do really good in the army training, and they're going to send her in to assassinate the emperor alone. And so he doesn't think she's ready. So now he's trying to get back to her to stop her from doing that. Samurai Doggy #3, Chris Tex and Santos on the art. This is the fastest comic book read I've ever had in my entire life. This is also an Aftershock book, so I can't imagine anything else is coming out after this issue. And I have to think that this was literally like they didn't have a script for this issue and they just had to like print it. But it's just like Samurai Doggy killing like 30 guys again. It was great art, and it was cool to flip through and see this huge like fighting happening. But then nothing really happens. There's no dialogue. It's such a strange issue to read. But yeah, I have to think that it's something about Aftershock going on there. There's a couple more stuff I didn't get to, but that's what I had this week.
So apparently, I mean, I don't know 100% yet, but apparently my comic shop is opening back up this week, so I'll have more to talk about.
Awesome.
Future
Great.
weeks.
I'm excited.
But I did. I read Just Society and I read Hell to Pay #3.
Nice.
This is a really cool book. Like the first issue kind of set up the concept of like there's these coins on Earth from hell that you can use to summon demons to do like something for you, and we find out that there's our main characters are trying to hunt them all down to bring them back to hell with this like society from hell that's trying to like get rid of the problem. And we find out in like issue 2 there's way more than they thought there were, so now these people think that they're done and they're not, and that's kind of the setup of the whole series. And this one sets up an actual big bad where they find more of these things and find out that there's actually somebody that's basically human trafficking. Like this person goes to a prison down in like South Africa or South America or something, and basically buys thousands of people so he can hook them up like Matrix style to this thing.
Oh boy. Yeah.
To like summon more of these coins. And that was kind of the issue, was like setting him up as like the big bad and everything. It's a really cool series. It's Charles Soule writing it, so I always enjoy his, especially his independent stuff, but his Marvel stuff as well. And I'd recommend the book.
It's like Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, Hellcoin mining.
Hellcoin mining.
Except Bitcoin, I don't think you have to hook up a human sacrifice.
No, just a bunch of graphics cards. I gotta read that book. I'm gonna go down.
I really recommend it, and the art is really cool too. Cool. Especially when they like do flashbacks into hell and like this scenario down there. So
nice, awesome.
Yeah, everybody check that out. So Mike, that was everything I had this week. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter and at Fortress Comics, or you can find the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter. Also at fortresscomicnews.com. Remember, everybody, to give the show a 5-star review in the podcast of your choice. If you're on Spotify, I found out past couple weeks you can comment on the video, so let us know what you like on the comments there as well. And if you are on YouTube, remember to give us thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the show with your friends and comment there as well. And if you want to go the extra mile, go to patreon.com/fortresscomics where you can subscribe there. Or you can just go down in the show notes and check out the affiliate links and support them as well. So thank you all so much for watching and listening this week. And we'll see you all here next week.
See ya.